have journaled every day for the last 13 years. Every new journal was kind of a chance for me to feel like I have a different personality or a fresh start. So you'll notice that my journal started out kind of like, you know, stereotypical 14-year-old girl kind of vibes, and then slowly started to become more and more sophisticated to the point where now I use the same journal every day. I have tried doing regular journal entries, like just pencil, just writing. I've also tried doing more of a scrapbook feel where you add pictures and like say who's in it. And then I also tried even adding like memorabilia, like tickets and other things that I've collected over the years. But a few years back, I finally said it's enough. We got to figure out a system, and now I have stuck to the same exact journal and ordered the same one so that they all look cohesive on a shelf together, because I could never put my journals all together at once without it looking like a chaotic mess. So in this video, we're going to talk about my current journal setup, which has taken me years to perfect because I am finally in a good place with my journal setup. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the habit formation that I have developed over the years, and then finally talk about what am I actually talking about in my journals, and we're even going to read a couple real journals of some key points in my life. Right now, I have two types of journals. So I have a scratch journal. So this is for like calculations, random stuff at work, or phone numbers, or random little notes throughout the day. Things that it never looks pretty. So this is like a throwaway. I put the date on there, but there's just a bunch of crap in here. And then this is my actual everyday, day-to-day journal. So this one's great. It's taken me many years to find a good journal, but I finally have landed on one. The one that I like about this one is it lays completely flat. See, so when you write in it, it's not like you're trying to push it down. It lays completely flat. The pages are thick, so there's no bleeding really, but I do use a pencil, so there might be if you use like a Sharpie or something, but pretty thick. And then also there's absolutely no brand on it as well. So I will link it below if you're interested, because it took me a very long time to find a journal that I'm happy with. And they're also only like $8 a journal, so it's not like I'm spending $25 on a journal. My emotional journal. Now when I'm talking about journal or emotional journal, I mean just regular journal, but that one's kind of technically a journal as well. But this is my day-to-day journal. I write in it every single day. I title it my name, I put the date on it, and then it's a stream of consciousness. So I'm writing typically in the morning, and I say, oh, like this is my plan for today. How am I feeling? Oh, I did my laundry. Like it's very stream of consciousness. It's boring. It's supposed to be boring. And then if there's something cool that happens, then I add that as well. But mainly it's very boring writing, and it's mainly like coping. It's like therapy. I'm basically like, oh, I feel kind of sad today. Oh, I feel good today. Oh, I met up with this person. Oh, blah. It's like documentation. Now, another thing I have is a scrapbook, because I used to do that thing where you paste in photos, but then the journal got too fat and too thick, and then it was kind of annoying. So I've completely taken the scrapbook out of the emotional journal and into an actual scrapbook. So that is where I have pictures with my friends, and it's themed, and there's spreads, and I go to Craft Warehouse and I buy a really expensive paper and I cut everything and I border it. That is what the scrapbooking process is for, completely separate from day-to-day journaling, because I cannot do day-to-day scrapbooking. That is a hobby, okay? That is an actual thing in and of itself, and maybe I'll do a separate video on that. Now, as far as the habit formation goes, you have to have a cue. So it's like a trigger almost. So I have my journal and I have it sitting on my desk at all times, or I throw it in my backpack on trips and stuff like that, but it's pretty small. And so what I do is I go get breakfast, and then as I'm eating, I write, or right after I eat, I write, but it's like right in the morning. So I rarely miss a day unless I'm super sick. But for the most part, I have pretty much every day. I could go back in time and look at any day of that year and pretty much find at least within a day or two of that exact entry. It's important to have this habit, because otherwise you're just gonna be one of those people who writes in their journal and then waits a month and then writes again, and then you throw it away somewhere else. But the key, you just gotta stay consistent. If you keep it so close to you that you have to look at it and go, oh, I should write today, you know, like, and don't be too hard on yourself, because I know it's like, I have to write today. For me, it's an absolute necessary need. I can't explain it. It's like working out every day. Like I have to go out and walk, move my body. I have to write about my day. So try not to be too hard on yourself. You'll eventually get it down if you if you associate it with a trigger or a cue. So after I eat breakfast, I will write in my journal. After I sign onto my computer, I will write in my journal. After I brush my teeth, I will write in my journal. After I, you know, put in my retainer, I will write in my journal. So something like that. Trigger it with something else. Okay, so let's go through some journals that I've had in the past. Now these are going to be very ugly and very 14-year-old girl vibes, and then I'll show you my current journals. So let's start off with my very first journal, which is so ugly. I don't even have words. It's got this like, this is like the ugliest little clip here. This is like 13, 14 years old, me. And I'll read one of the entries out of here. I'm gonna read a couple entries at the end. Some like pretty big moments. The first time I was kissed, the first time I smoked weed, and also a day before my dad passed away. So I'll read a couple pretty good life-changing entries in a little bit, but this one takes the cake for being the ugliest. I do have some more. So I have like these, and you know what sucks is you put them on a bookshelf and like, look at these. These are ugly. Like that is so ugly. So the other ones, again, this one has like a butterfly on it. It's like the most atrocious looking thing. I tried to put pictures in this one, so I'll read out of this one as well, and I'll show you a couple pictures. I printed them off the internet, not the internet, off, like, it's just paper. Like I just printed them like at school, I think. This one's another small one. I just kept collecting them. This one's like also very ugly. It's like this bird looking thing. I don't have words. This one's pretty cool. My friend got me this one. I don't think we're friends anymore, but this one's pretty nice. These two, I kind of was into this whole like mapping, sophisticated, look at me, I'm in high school and I'm going to college and I'm gonna be an engineer vibe. But who do I think I was? Like Benjamin Franklin. So I went for this kind of vibe, and then I've switched to all black journals now. Now I made the switch to all black journals when I was 22, 23-ish. And so now you can see like these are my latest, these are the last 6. Okay, and so now they look nice like on a shelf, and it's kind of cool because it's my 20s. So I have, what I have inside each one of them is I have my name, I have the dates, and then I have what age I was. That helps me because trying to go back and figure out what age I was based on the dates is actually like really a lot harder than I thought it would be. So I like to say, oh, this one's when I was 23, this one's when I was 23 and 24, this one's when I was 24 and 25, and then this one's just 25, and then 26, and then I'll have all the way into my 30s, which will be really cool. So I plan on basically continuing this for all of eternity, I guess, because now that I have multiple and I can stack them, I'm just very excited to like have everything documented. Now, if you're anything like me, then you probably have a bunch of miscellaneous journals that you have never used, but have somehow collected from either Barnes & Noble or thrift shops or your mom's stash of journals. Okay, so we're gonna give these their light of day, okay, because they deserve it, even though we did not write in them. And I know you have some, so don't lie to me. Okay, the first one. Why on earth did I buy this? It has a dragon on the front. I mean, look at that. I just feel like I'm in Game of Thrones. I think I was in my Game of Thrones era. Like, look at her. She's beautiful. And like, the texture on this thing, we love it. Have I written in her? No, I have not. She's too beautiful to write it. And then we have this guy, which I wrote in for like 2 days. It's got this nice trifold here. And it basically is like a blank thing, but like, look how clunky this is. Like, how am I going, I can't barely even hold it. Like, how am I going to be dragging this around? Not happening. So that was a mistake. This one, what on earth was I thinking? Am I, like, I must have thought I was like Thomas Jefferson. Like, what is this? And if you even look at the pages, like they look like a freaking, one of those projects you do in like middle school to like roughen the pages on the end. I just was like, oh, look how sophisticated and how cool. Well, we don't know what we were thinking. That was a mistake. This one, I did try journaling in the form of writing every single thing I did down, how long it took me and what time it was. Like on this, it literally says thermo presentation, 13 minutes, 3:25:19, so this was 2019, 9:47 a.m. We love the detail. Then it says optics homework, 20 minutes, wrote out questions, 10:30 a.m. Optics homework number 2, 11:38 a.m. English paper printed for peer review, 12:11 p.m. Like, it's just so detailed, and it says exactly what I was doing, how long it took me, and then when I was doing it. And I just have hundreds of entries of English reading, comp exam, wow, there's a lot of exams, optics exam, English TED Talk, English questions, capstone meeting, like why was I tracking every second of my life? So now you know why I did well in college, because I was crazy. This one I recently picked up. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it, but look at her. She's beautiful. The leather, I could not leave Barnes & Noble without her. It's also got these like cool like books. Again, you'll start to see they all look similar because they're all like sophisticated and Benjamin Franklin vibes. Like, I'm gonna light my candles and journal in the dark, you know? Like, I don't know who I think I am, but this is her light. This is her moment right now. Now, the coolest thing about having journals is being able to go back into your past. So I'm going to read a couple journal entries that I've flagged as being, you know, very good turning points in my life. Whether you agree or not, I am going to read them. So this first one, I was calling myself Lizzie at this point. So Lizzie Rao, and then I have it November 12th, 2010. So I had just turned 14, 13 or 14. So it reads, I got an iPhone for my birthday. I also had an amazing birthday hanging out with Molly and Casey. Today I had my first kiss on the lips. Apparently, very important to say on the lips. Like, what? It was more like a peck than a kiss. I kissed him again after my friend's basketball game. His name is Vincent. I like him, and he tells me he loves me a lot, and we're going out. Do you guys remember that? When we would tell each other we're going out? Do you want to go out with me? And going out didn't mean like physically going out, but like we're together, we're in a relationship. So that's that one. And then I was reading a couple pages after, and there was one where I've like decided that I was gonna make out with him at like outside of school. And that one was pretty freaking funny. And so here it says, I got a phone call from Vincent. We're not dating, but we do everything couples do. Oh, what does that even mean? It's 6:37 a.m. I'm going to school 30 minutes earlier to make out with Vincent. And it's like in this like colored pencil writing. Well, so we know what we were up to when I was 13 and 14 at Thomas Jefferson Middle School. So doing great things in my life then. Now this one's cool because I actually have pictures to go along, so I'll show you the last boy. I have a picture of him in this one, but this is 2 years later. And so I said, guess my wish came true. My brother's going to live with me starting tomorrow. I don't know if I told you, but I smoked weed a while back right before a football game with Hannah. I took 3 to 4 hits, 3-4. Very important. It's a range. I want to do it again because I didn't get that high. But I learned today that I should forgive myself. So, 2012. So I had to have been like 16. And so that's when weed was not even legal, okay? I think I was smoking out of like an Arizona can, like one of those, you know, tea cans. But what's cool is in here I actually have photos. So I have all kinds of photos of these peoples. So here's a picture. What was funny is there was one where I even had like a FaceTime situation going on. So that one was kind of funny, but here I'll show you a picture of the man in question. But anyway, if you can't see that, I'll throw it on as B-roll or something. Okay, my last journal entry is a little bit taking more of a sad turn. So the cool thing about having a journal is being able to go back and pinpoint specific times. So my dad passed away when I was 24. And so I just turned 24. And so I have journal entries up until literally the day before he passed away. So like this night he passed. So in the morning I wrote this. I am excited today. I am ready. These last few days I fell down a bit. I was unmotivated, but I'm ready now. I'm going to focus on classes. I want to learn every day. I want a side project. It's hard to chase a dream when I'm not even sure what it is yet. But I think I'm going to focus on work for a while, potentially this year. It's going to be a growth year. So I'm writing this like I'm excited and looking forward to it. Yet I had no idea that my world was absolutely gonna turn around and flip upside down the following day and then completely derail my growth year. So it's kind of fascinating to watch it. And then you'll notice like throughout I'm starting to write and I'm starting to accept the death and like grieve. And I think the writing really helped. And even like a few weeks after that entry, I write that I have 109 subscribers on YouTube. And I was so excited because my dad used to watch all my YouTube videos. So he would watch like when they were terrible. Okay, when like, we're talking 100 subscribers, he would watch them every day. So I got really excited to like post more on YouTube because I felt like that was like almost a way of like communicating. Not that I'm spiritual or anything, but I just thought it was like kind of cool. So on 2/8/2021, I had 109 subscribers, and now I have over like 3,000. So it's kind of cool, but that's why you want to write, is because you can go back and pinpoint these like life-altering events and see what was your headspace. And I can go back and read all the entries of like the aftermath of losing my dad in my early 20s and me quitting my job, and like there's just so much. So that's why I like documenting and writing. Overall, I feel like documenting is meant for just yourself. I know I've watched these like journal videos and stuff like that, and I just feel like you're putting too much pressure on yourself to be like, oh, the journaling is gonna change my life. It's gonna be like therapeutic and I'm gonna grow as a person. But you know how many times I reread a journal entry about the same boy that I've been crying over for like years and years, and there's been no growth? Like I was crying over him this year, and then like 3 years later, it's the same boy driving me nuts. So it's like, you're not really gonna like get this like massive growth and like learn by writing these things. But I feel like it's therapeutic, it's getting through life. Like I could not get through life without my journal because I dump everything on it. I go, oh, my taxes haven't done that. I'm so mad at myself. Like I write everything. So don't feel like you have to do it to be the best person. Do it because life is fucking chaotic and you need to write it out and understand it and live through it and document it. And then you can go back and look at these beautiful moments, or just how insane you were, or, you know, your first kiss and making out with some guy when you're 14, you know, like you can relive those memories. I have tons of really positive memories in here, really dark memories, and I don't look at them every day, but I frequently will go back and take a peek and be like, oh, I wonder what I was up to in April of 2020. You know, not that I was up to anything because it was a global pandemic, but you know what I'm saying. So just don't be too hard on yourself. Try to document as much as you can because it is kind of fun to go back.